Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. What's going on? Jasmine Ozturk. Gold. Jessica 2330. Silver. Marcy Rigney 6. Bronze. The rest of yous. You know what? You get participation trophies. That's what you get. I'm not playing fetch right now. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. I don't want to do it. Stop. No, I'm not playing. How's everybody doing out there? How are we hanging in there? Are we staying safe? Are we staying sane? Are we staying distance socially? Are we being wise about this stuff? Not being driven in fear, not being gripped with worry, but just being wise? I hope so. This whole thing is so bonkers. I can't, every day I keep having a moment where I'm like, what is happening? Like I'm sure all of you are having as well. No, I'm not playing fetch. He can't. He can't get enough. It's like a drug for him. I know it's like for every dog. I'm not playing. He wants it so bad. No, you did this last time. Oh, see, there you go. He just snapped it in half. And he's still going to try and play with this. Watch this. Or not. I think I won that one. I was like doing like a turkey, like a wishbone deal. And I got my wish. Now he's befuddled and not asking me to play fetch with him. Branch Manager Blue. That's correct, yes. Official mascot of Wildwood. Are we loving ourselves? Are we loving ourselves out there? You know you're worth it, right? You know you're worthy of all of the love that you have ever felt in your life and more. You are completely worthy of that love. You are loved. You are love. You are an expression of love. I think, anyway. I think every aspect of life is an expression of God's energy and life and love, I think. Which means you are too. And I am. We all are. But we have to love ourselves. It is incongruent with fact. It is incongruent with the design of all of this, I believe, to not love oneself. God loves you. Why are you not loving you? It's incongruent. I pronounced that strangely, I understand, but look at my whip. That's my whip. I can't point. There we go. Woo! That's a Honda Talon. They're super slick. Honda, if you want to slide me any fun toys to romp around with, even just to lend during said quarantine, I would be so stoked. Or Polaris, or whoever has cool toys. If you want me to play with the toys and put them on my social medias, be happy to. I'm just sitting around anyway. Incongruente. I have not seen Birds of Prey yet. I don't know why. I have been meaning to. Now I'm going to. It's that's clear. There's so many movies that I have missed that I was waiting for, and then just life kind of happens. And then I don't know if anybody else out there feels this way, but like I find that I'll go to the movies for a month straight of continuously, but then I won't go for a long time. So whatever happens to me that month of time, I happen to see a lot of, and then whatever isn't showing in that particular month, I might miss a lot of, just because of schedule and life and all that. No, I'm not. Look at these twigs. There's nothing there. And you're going to bite my hand. He's going to bite my hand. Give me a bigger stick. Bigger. Más grande. Stico más grande. What's stick in Spanish? I don't know. In and out of phases, but that's cool. I don't know what that means. What was that? Was that an answer to a question? Favorite 80s movie? All of them? The entire decade? From the most excellent to the most dope? to even though like the cheesiest of 80s movies I still found to be incredibly charming. 80s was chock full of horrible, like as far as cheese meter is concerned, the 80s is chock full of cheese. But it's really good cheese, you know? You know that you're not supposed to do that. Just grab him for a stick. Nips me on my finger. Just watch Stir Crazy. Awesome. What's Stir Crazy? I don't know that Blue understands Spanish better than English. I just use Spanish for fun, also for practice. Para divertido y practicar. Práctico. Es verdad. He's waiting for it. He's just not going to get it. Hello, Iran. I feel like I consistently get some folks from Iran. I appreciate that. I get a lot of you Brazilians. Love you guys. Yes, I'm watching Tiger King. There's one person in our group who hadn't watched it, and so they're catching up right now, and then we've got episode 7 left, and we're done. So nobody tell me any spoilers or anything, but I've watched almost all of it. It is the most bonkers. I can't recommend to everyone out there watching. I can't recommend it enough. Go. It's so weird. It's so surreal. It all feels like a big hoax. It feels like a big Christopher Guest movie as far as the characters are concerned. But like, we're all getting punked. But I know we're not getting punked. This stuff really happened, and that's weirder. Stranger than fiction, as they say. Nope. Have I seen Shazam? A couple of times. I'm not. No. He dropped it right in the right spot. I could get it. And there you go. He's such a doofus. Just like his old dad. You know what I mean? Like father, like son. If you break the twig in half, there's less of a twig for me to throw. Did you hear that? Just crunch. Yeah, it's very weird to watch yourself on television. I'm not going to lie. It's still very strange. I mean, I think part of that is honestly rooted in self-love issues. I think if you are very happy with yourself and you're not constantly judging yourself, how you look physically, how you move, how you sound, all of those things, then you can enjoy yourself better. I have struggled enjoying watching myself on screens because I've also greatly struggled with loving myself. Like, I tear myself apart. I have crazy physical insecurities and stuff. Like, I'll look at there's a lot of times I'm looking at myself on screen. I'm like, you look ugly, you look dumb, your posture's horrible, you look lanky and weird. I mean, I don't know, all the things. You got bags under your eyes. I mean, all the things that we can totally eviscerate ourselves with, which we do, most of us, on a pretty regular basis, until we can learn that it's not doing you any good. It's okay to be concerned with your health and strength. Be concerned with what's important in life. Give it attention, give it concern, but don't worry and don't hate yourself because you're not exactly where you want to be. And by the way, you may never be. There are certain ways that we wish we could be different in our lives that, like, I'm never going to be tall enough or strong enough or young enough again to go play in the NBA. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen. And that's okay. That wasn't my path. That wasn't my journey. All of us have a purpose, I believe, or almost limitless purpose sometimes. We're infinitely valuable and simultaneously entirely unimportant in this universe, We're like, bloop, we're little blips. This is what he's come to now. He's now bringing me, you got to put it in my hand, bud. No, I'm not going to play tug of war with you. Stop, you're nipping at my hands. So, let that, I mean, it's just, it's his own worst enemy. And whoop! Okay, hand it to me. Give it to me. Right here. Right here. But anyway, so yeah, I've had all kinds of issues trying to enjoy watching myself in my own performances. And sometimes I do. A lot of times I don't. Blue is a dork. He really is. But it doesn't change that I enjoy the opportunity. Like, even if I have a hard time appreciating what I do, I'm working at it to be better at that and loving myself and valuing myself and appreciating myself. Hey, I'm trying to have a conversation here. You're barking at these people. What are you doing? I said, bring me a bigger stick. You didn't bring me a bigger stick. I'm trying to have a conversation with these strangers talking about self-love. You're selfishly wanting to play fetch with a twig. I mean, the nerve of this kid. Anyway. Yeah, but I still love, even in all my insecurities and fears, I still want to step up and keep acting and be the best actor or performer or entertainer that I can be, and fight through that stuff and love myself more, and hopefully stop it. No. Enough. Yeah, keep making good shit that you guys all like. That's what I like more than anything. I like feeling joy and bringing joy. I feel like that's one of my biggest purposes in life. What are some misconceptions about being a celebrity? That's a great question. Well, I mean, I think that the obvious kind of trite and overused saying is celebrities are just like us, right? Like we're human beings too. And I think it's trite because I can't believe we even have to explain that. Or not we as in celebrities, but just that anyone has to be explained that by anyone, Like, of course we're still human beings. Like, it's so strange to have, like, in magazines, it's like, oh, look, they go to Starbucks too, honey. That's crazy. It's like, yeah, because sometimes you want a coffee. So there's that stuff, but I don't know, other misconceptions. I mean, I don't know. First of all, I can't. Celebrity is a huge catch-all. Like, there's all different types of celebrities, and now every different type of celebrity handles it differently and takes it differently and uses it differently. So I don't know what common misperceptions that are across all types of celebrity, but I don't know, that it's easy. I think that's one thing that most people apply to someone of any kind of fame. Although nowadays there are a lot of famous people who have gotten there very easily, in my opinion, and I think reality television has almost everything to do with that, which is part of the reason why I don't partake in, let's say, traditional reality television. I do think that there is good unscripted programming. I intend to make good unscripted programming, but the way in which we have elevated people to these heights of celebrity for having been on a dating show or essentially quarantined themselves into a home with a bunch of other strangers, or like I don't know. Like the Apprentice. I mean, guys, I hate to say it, but if you think about it, one of the biggest reasons why Donald Trump, like it or lump it, one of the biggest reasons he's president of the United States right now is because NBC gave him a reality show that basically told the rest of the world he was the best businessman in the country. Like, you don't think that has any effect on our understanding of what reality is? And then now we're, in these, again, like it or lump it. I'm not even attacking anybody's decision. I'm just saying, philosophically speaking, or psychologically speaking, that's very much how that happened. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, that show was a massive part of what built the Trump brand and put him in everyone's home. And everyone was like, yeah, fire people. You're fired. Everybody loved it. And they made an already famous person exponentially more famous. So, yeah, I am not a fan of any of that stuff at all. But as far as celebrities who I think have earned it, incredibly talented artists or incredibly talented athletes or incredibly talented astronauts or firefighters or police officers or soldiers who have gone into a situation that out of bravery then gave them a celebrity or fame, like, you know, like that's there's something earned in that, and again, all of those types are all different too. From, I guess, what I would say from an acting celebrity standpoint, if you've earned it, then that's hopefully a good. I mean, earned it. I don't know that anybody earns all of the trappings that come along with being uber famous, to be perfectly honest. But you know, it's not easy. The roads aren't easy to get to these places. I've been doing this shit, 20 plus years, and it's been rough. I've wanted to die a couple of times through all this, and my vocation was partly to blame for all that stuff. And look at athletes. Look at how much of their lives they have to sacrifice in order to become the greatest specimen within their, genre of sport. Like, that's so much time and money and energy and passion. You earn that, So if you end up being a celebrity after all of that, I hope that it's a tough road. I think people should know that. If you want to go and do these things, then you got to work hard at it. And also you got to, I don't know. Well, you got a lot of things, but you got to want it. You got to want it more than the fame, and know that fame, a lot of people become famous and they're like, I never wanted to be famous. I'm like, well, how many people in your line that you came up in? Like, I don't know, like, if you're an actor and you really want to be an actor and you start becoming successful, that fame and celebrity are something that just kind of naturally happen because of that, because of marketing, because of all the dog and pony show that you have to do to sell the products that you're a part of, the movies or TV shows or whatever that is. It's part of it. You're going to have some kind of exposure. And I've seen people, I don't know, it feels kind of like a falsely humble thing of like, I just want to be left alone. I don't want to be famous. Like, well, then do community theater. Go back wherever you grew up or wherever you want to live and just go do chill community theater. If all you want to do is create characters and do that, like, rock and roll. But don't, shit on the whole way the system works just because it's not something that you're ready to deal with, because you haven't worked on all the things inside of you, which is what we need to do. Because that's where a lot of that stuff, I think, gets shown. I think celebrity exposes a lot of mental and emotional unhealth, unwellness. And that's a good thing. We should be able to see that and have grace with people and go, oh, see all that, the way that's manifesting, that's probably because of past traumas in that celebrity or famous person's life. Or, by the way, regular person's life, because trauma affects everyone. Famous people might go through some other types of trauma, I suppose, but a lot of trauma happens when you're a kid, and the very wealthy and famous are traumatized greatly in the lives that they grow up in. If you grow up in a life of great wealth. The grass is always greener, y'all. You'd think that with all the money you don't have the problems, but more money, more problems. I mean, I've talked about Trump before in this regard, but, I don't think that man is mentally healthy. I don't think he's emotionally healthy. I think that he grew up probably being traumatized on very high levels in his particular family, and how they unfortunately programmed him, and then the groups of people that he grew up with, and the various, parts of society, and the way he's done business and all that stuff. I think that he has learned incorrectly. He's been programmed incorrectly. But once upon a time, little Donnie Trump was 5 years old and had all the potential in the world to go become a very empathetic and very understanding, and very caring and very kind and very patient and very wise person. He just didn't go down that road, and instead is who he is now. And that doesn't mean that there aren't still policies that are being passed right now that I know are very scary for some people. And I know that there's other policies that people are very happy about, because he has seen two parts of this country that were feeling neglected. So, that's why I use terms like it or lump it. I don't think it's just, black or white scenario, guys. I don't think any president of the United States, or really any ruler of any country, has ever been a black or white. They have everyone's support, because they're not even for everyone particularly, because we're all divided on what we're supposed to be for. So I think we all got to get that together. Why don't we, the people, figure out what are we for, and collectively we'll figure that out, and then we'll go to both of the houses, both of the sides of our political divide, and say, here's the new deal. Let's do this now. Because it's not working great the way it's working right now. It's just not. But I think it's got to start with things like empathy. And I know that that's really difficult to do with people that you don't like. I get it. I struggle with it still too, myself. But that's the only way we're going to make any of this a better deal. We have to be able to look at people that we don't like and take the time to empathize with their situation. Walk a mile in their shoes, however you want to word it. That's our job. We have got to do that. If we can do that, we can find common grounds. We can see that, we're actually not so far apart. By the way, these are things that a lot of people have known for a really long time and have talked about for a really long time. So I'm just trying to echo it more and repeat it, and because I believe it to be true. That's love. It's love. It's more love. It's more love. It's more patience. It's more grace. It's more empathy. It's more kindness toward yourself, toward your family, toward your friends, toward your communities, your schools, your coworkers, your bosses, your employees, the people that serve you at the tables that aren't even having an opportunity to serve you right now. I hope everyone is taking huge stock of all of the things that we take for granted right now, because this is the time to do it. And shocker, we take each other, we take ourselves and each other and the planet and life at large for granted more than anything. And that's the thing we're all getting disconnected from the most right now. How many people get to go out and walk around and, I mean, without some mandate in your city or state or country where you have to stay in, where you are advised and encouraged to stay in right now and not go and gather with other human beings that you might love, or strangers that are great to be around, or going to concerts or sporting events, or being around animals if you don't own animals, or just all of it, going out to restaurants, communing, doing all the things that we've built literally the human society on top of, and we have completely lost sight of. This is that time to really reflect and go, damn, we almost lost it. Let's not. Let's love each other. Let's love this thing, life. Let's love it. Let's embrace it. Let's encourage it. Let's foster it. Let's steward it. It's important. It's the only real value in all of this, y'all. I mean, think about it. It's the only actual miracle. It's the only magic in all of this. Like, what the fuck? How this little blue sphere, this little blue deal just floating in the middle of infinite space. And we're here and we're alive on it. Anyway. Any questions? Any questions? Regular life is pretty fucking spectacular, isn't it? And it's like you just don't appreciate some things until you don't have them. And look at this, we don't have each other now. I mean, we have each other, but we not physically, not where we can, It should be an incredible wake up, an incredible reminder. Yes, I'm very safe. Thank you very much. I'm very safe, and I'm very grateful that I just happen to have figured out a living situation for myself over the last few years that also includes other people who live with me on my property, and we just do life together and, try to take as many precautions and wisdoms to heart, and, doing all the things we need to do, but also not losing our minds, staying as calm and rational as we can in all of this, being wise, but not worrying. Wisdom, not worry. And they're really groovy folks also. And we're like, going to try and make some content, like legitimate, like new content to shoot here during this quarantine time, and hopefully get it to you guys sooner rather than later, because we don't know how long this is all going to go. I don't know even when I'm going to go back to work in any like traditional Hollywood fashion. We don't know, and because nobody knows, ultimately. And I think it's very wise of like my most current employer, Lionsgate, and Mandeville, and my awesome producers over there, and Steve Pink, and everybody who's putting Undercover together. We're going to get back to that at the exact right time when it's safest and most wise for everybody. And in the meantime, we've all just got to figure out how to stay productive and creative as best we can, and so we're going to try and do some of that stuff. Also, I don't know if anybody has any VR capabilities out there, but I got an HTC Vive, and we've been dabbling in the VR world now, and we're gonna try and do some VR things, like maybe like host a room where we can hang out with people in VR, or even like give you little VR hangouts in certain places on the property with us, just to help, give you a portal out of where you might be and into some nature, into some fun. We're just gonna keep trying to do fun shit and include you guys in it as best we can. VR chat, yeah! Oh, you've seen me doing VR. Yeah, that's already leaked on the internet webs. That's great. It's really great. That light Beat Saber, whatever that is, holy Toledo, transported to another level of fun. Also playing Arizona Sunshine, is that the one? It's like a zombie game. That's pretty interesting. I've been enjoying that. I have not played the new Doom. Is there a new VR Doom? Beat Saber, yes. It is Beat Saber. But I heard there's a Half-Life. There's a VR Half-Life that's like the newest Half-Life that I've been waiting forever for. I don't know how deep the game is. I mean, I really loved the FPS version of it. I hope, look, Steam's amazing, so I'm sure that they've made something pretty incredible, but I really wanted to play a full narrative, so I don't know how deep you get into the story of it, how long the story... What is happening? But I'm going to go play that stuff immediately. Half-Life Alyx, is that the name of it? Can't wait! Man, VR is getting good, y'all. And AR is going to be getting real cool, too. We're going to do some augmented reality stuff. Once I can start getting a lot of, like, this stuff up and going, I'm sure if there's people that work in the VR and AR space, or programming in general, or film and television, I want to start doing all kinds of fun stuff. Any advice for dealing with the anxiety and the depression? Well, you got to be loving yourself. That's first and foremost. So at any point, no matter what all the other things I'm about to run down the list of that I think are helpful, you have got to remind yourself these important things. You are loved, you are worthy of that love, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. Repeat that to yourself over and over again. Make it a mantra if you have to. Write it down, look at it on your phone, whatever you need to do. But remind yourself, because our minds are very, very powerful, and they're very, very tricky. And we are not entirely in control of. I am a believer in something I read once, which is you are not the voice of your mind. You are the one who hears it. So that's why we'll have turbulent thoughts and things. And we're like, why am I, what's going on? And how you can't control your thoughts because your mind is insane. Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther, his name predecessor, who started Protestantism, essentially, said, I think there's a Martin Luther quote that says, you can't stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can stop it from making a nest on top of it. Meaning, you can't stop the thoughts that fly through your mind, but you can stop yourself from festering on them, from sitting on them and allowing them to dictate to you what is reality. That's the battle. That's the battle that goes on in your mind. So you have to remind yourself of those facts. You are the one who hears your mind. You are not the voice of your mind necessarily. Not that you can't have influence in that. Oh, and it's starting to sprinkle. And I'm going inside. So there's that. And you got to remind yourself that you are loved and you are worthy of that love. And no matter how shitty, and I know a lot of us have been and are currently in shitty situations that are not ideal for our lives, but trying to trust as best you can, that this too shall pass. You will get to the other side of this, but remind yourself. I mean, like, I'll have moments when I'm laying in bed and I just feel just wiped. Like, what's the point of getting up this morning? I just feel defeated, you know? And a lot of that is because I'm getting down on myself. Even before I've like woken up, or as I'm waking up, I'm not loving myself. I'm thinking of all the things I haven't done yet, or I'm still behind on, or whatever it is, instead of just saying, hey, you're good, bud. You're good. You're loved. You're worthy of the love that you have in your life. You're worthy of the love that you give to yourself. If you have to go and look in the mirror and say that to yourself in the mirror, that's a great practice too. It's weird. It's an awkward thing to start doing. You know, but it's important. It's important that you look at yourself. I have a on my phone, my screensaver, my lock screen and screensaver is a picture of my 4 or 5 year old self. That's because I want to be reminded that little boy is inside of me, and I am to love him because he's worthy of that love. And so if that helps you, put that on your screensaver. Or in your wallet, or wherever you would see that picture. I think it's important that we remind ourselves that we are to be loved. It's unfortunate a lot of the programming and bad programming that we get in our lives that brings us down roads that we should never have had to go down if we had better programming, better parenting, whatever. But that is what it is. So then beyond that, also from the mental and emotional well-being standpoint, try to move as much as you can in whatever space you have available right now. Just do body weight stuff if you have to. You can do dips off of a chair or a coffee table. You can do push-ups. You can do sit-ups and crunches. You can do lunges. You can do squats. If you have a pull-up bar or some kind of, chin-up bar or something like that, you can... I don't know when I get to work with Chris Pratt, but I would love to work with Chris Pratt. I just love his heart and I love his mind, and I think he's super talented, and I've been grateful to have known him over the years. You know, in passing, not super, super well, but I hope to, get to know him better over the years and get to work with him. But yeah, you want to stay moving. You need to, your mental and emotional health are so contingent upon your physical well-being, and how much you're moving and using your body. You create endorphins, you create dopamines and serotonins and whatnot, and that helps you tremendously. So even if it's little body movements, like dance. Yes, dance is a great thing. There's Tatiana Maslany, go follow her on Instagram. She's been doing all kinds of dance routines. She Skypes into this place, Adam Hetherington, is that his name? I can't remember. She posts about it all the time. But and my friend Danielle McMorrin is doing the same thing. It's this one guy who just danced, literally like a virtual dance class every day, and just get you moving. That's that's probably one of the best suggestions. If anybody out there, if you don't already typically work out or move and you're having some second guessing about it or whatever, then just go dance right now. It's a great way to burn calories and lighten your mood. It's good. And honestly, we should all be dancing more anyway. Like, what a shame that I don't think that we kind of, I don't know. Like people only dance in a place that's appropriate for dancing, and everywhere else that feels silly. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think we should dance all the time. It's like we should sing all the time. I mean, of course, I want life to just be one big musical comedy. That would be amazing. Crafting and creating things, as somebody just said. Yes, absolutely. Stay creative. Stay productive. Stay busied mentally. I mean, like I'm sure you've heard the term idle hands are the devil's playground, or whatever the hell that saying is. But I mean, idle minds. I mean, all you're doing is sitting there and spinning, video games are a great mental occupier. They're not a great physical occupier. Although, now with VR,
Yeah, it's a little bit of both, y'all. Like that Beat Saber game I was just telling you about, that's some of the best cardio I've had in a minute. Like, it's good. And it's so fun. You're dual wielding lightsabers? Like, what are we even talking about? And it's like Dance Dance Revolution meets Guitar Hero with swords. Ugh. Oh no. I was getting all... I think my feed... Oh, maybe we're back now. We should be restocking collagen soon, yeah. I mean, this whole phase of life has just been so weird, so... I have talked to Yvonne lately, and I've actually talked to Yvonne. I talked to Sarah and Ryan and Adam and Scott Krinsky. Who else was on that Zoom call? Yeah, we had a little Chuck reunion Zoom call, like everybody's doing. It's incredible. Like, Zoom stock must be out of control right now. I don't know. I will say it's a little difficult to track, like, 12 different panels of people and people talking over each other and all that, but it's still, better than nothing. That's for darn sure. Yeah, dancing in line instead of just standing in line. Absolutely. Why don't more people dance in line? Well, part of that is because we don't have enough music playing while we're standing in most lines. But that's why I bring music every time I go to conventions, guys. I bring a speaker and I put it on my table. If I could have speakers on everybody's table, if I could put speakers in the rafters and have a DJ literally spinning for hours while everyone walked around and shopped in a convention at the different stalls and went and waited in queues, and we had like treats and water for people, like... That's the way to do a convention. Make it more fun instead of just standing under a bunch of fluorescent lights all the time with no music and sweating your asses off. Not to say that there aren't some conventions out there that I have very much appreciated going to, and I think they do a great job. I'm just saying, if I ever get to build my own convention, not Nerd HQ, but a more typical fan convention where you pay to get in and pay to celebrities for signatures and stuff like that, then you can make it different, I think. Which could potentially be better. Hey, Shazam guy. Zasham. Oh, that's a new one. Zasham. That's like what's that like? He's like a German comedian, or Flugelborg. What's his name? That's the way he would pronounce Shazam. Zasham. They should put me on The Office. I don't understand. They shot that a long time ago. Will I be taking any requests to sing tonight? Yeah. If I know the song or part of the song. Also, I don't know how much more live time we have right now. Best convention ever! You're darn right it would be. So much fun. I also want to do like fun experiences and things, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like interactive experiences that would bring a little more amusement, or I don't know, even just interaction, like just immersive type of experience. What's up, Edinburgh? Edinburgh. I've never been to Scotland. I really want to go. I want to work on my accent. Edinburgh, Glasgow. I learned everything I know from train spotting, which is not that much, but it's a little bit, innit? Flulaborg, that's who it was. Flulaborg, yeah. He's always doing the strange like German things. What is that? Is he really from Germany, or is he just doing a deal? I don't know what Sweet Pea is, so I can't sing Sweet Pea. Won't you take me to Funky Town? Won't you take me to Funky Town? I'm not going to sing Tangled. I do that all the time. What do you do with a broken heart? Somebody just asked advice for a broken heart. Well, first of all, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're feeling... Well, however you're feeling right now. If you're struggling, if you're feeling low, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling a little lost or confused or whatever, I'm sorry. the broken hearts I've gone through have been probably some of the most traumatic things I've ever had happen to me in my life. Not that they needed to be, but the way my unhealthy relationship to, I think, love in general, and because I didn't love myself. And so when I would go through breakups, I would put like everything into these relationships, and then they would blow up in my face because they weren't right, or certainly not at the right time, and I wasn't healthy enough for them. And so they would wreck me. I mean, I would be super messed up. And the stuff that helps me the most out of that is reminding myself, again, like mantra to yourself, you are not defined in any way, shape, or form by that relationship. That person doesn't belong to you. You do not belong to them. I mean, even when two people find incredible love and get married to one another, they still don't, they belong to the same relationship. And I believe they're making a commitment to that relationship, but you don't own the other person, right? So I think that's one of the biggest problems, is that a lot of relationships are between two people that don't fully satiate their own needs that are meant to be satiated by themselves, emotional needs and whatnot, and then the other person gets burdened with then the lack of or what's left in the whatever that deficit is, and that can quickly or eventually erode a relationship right down to the nub, So I think it's important that we spend time in heartbreak loving ourselves. I mean, that, like, really love yourself and know that you are fine. You are totally good. This too shall pass. It was not meant to be. And I know it's difficult to imagine that sometimes, because you've put so much time and energy into imagining a future with this other person, and that's okay. You can also say that's okay too. Yeah, you did put a lot of that time into that. That means you cared. That means you loved that person. And just because it doesn't work out doesn't mean you don't love them or that they don't love you, by the way. Sometimes it's a compatibility thing. It just doesn't work. It's not, the two of you aren't going to elevate one another to being higher versions of yourself, and you need to be with somebody else, and that's okay. But I think we have to always be willing to let go of what is not ours, and also almost everything is not ours. Maybe nothing really. Like, even our own lives are a gift, I believe. Like, they're ours. We are a steward of this, and nobody else can steward this meat sack around. Like, you have to. It's your job. It's your job to, once your parents have, hopefully done a good job of teaching you how to take care of your personal meat bag, then you go take care of your meat bag. That's what you do. And you do it well. Hopefully we are. We're eating well. We're working out. We're taking care of our hearts and our minds and loving ourselves and loving each other. But so, yeah. Anyway, I don't know if any of that helps in the breakup. I would also, I would advise not going down the road of listening to a lot of sad. Well, actually, it depends on how you mourn things. I'm not going to tell you not to. I can go into really dark places if I listen to the wrong kind of music. Stuff that's incredible music, but that can also just like rip my heart out. Like I made the mistake of listening to a bunch of Adele once after breakup. Oh my God, that was not a good call. And I love Adele, but that in the middle of the heartache that I was going through, I was like, it was bad, ugly crying. Or like, movies that might be a little too heartbreaking to watch, things like that. I would try to watch things that quite literally are uplifting. Don't wallow in it. Don't sit in it. You don't want to wallow in that kind of sadness, because then you start kind of self-pitying, and then that starts becoming a depression, and that's a far more difficult thing to get yourself out of. Your serotonin, and it's all connected, right? So when you're sad, some people eat more when they're sad. Some people, like myself, eat very little when I'm sad, and you have to take care of your gut health. It's so important to take care of your gut health, because so much of that is what is taking care of your mental and emotional health through the serotonin that's generated there. So if you're not, you gotta be supplementing. You gotta be trying to uplift yourself, rile your serotonins and dopamines up a bit in these moments of heartbreak. That's important. And, just take care of yourself as best you can and know that you are loved, you are worthy of that love, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. Remember that. Remember that. I like Vade. Marshall was crushing that zombie game.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Not a shocker. The man's growing up with guns in his hands.
Yeah.
As well.
And zombies around him.
Yeah, if y'all are into the HTC Vive and VR and stuff, you should check out Arizona Sunshine. It's pretty interesting. What helps with the breakup is Lady Gaga, someone has just mentioned. Okay. Hosier. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's hard. Oh. Take me to church. I worship like a dog. I don't know all the lyrics, otherwise I'm on the side of your life. I love my sin, and you can sharpen your knife. Stop, certified. I don't know. I don't even know. Star Wars has always been an anchor for you. Yeah, a way of keeping grounded, sure. Look, everybody has their touchstones, their things that they. That's actually one of the coolest things I ever hear about some of the projects that I've been a part of. Specifically, Chuck, Tangled, Shazam, and the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and She Loves Me. Those I get the most amount of people telling me I was in a funk. I was having a hard time. I was sad. I was depressed. I was angry. Whatever was just, you were just in a bad spot or a bad way. And then I watched one poor connection. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, we're back. ¿Hablas español? Sí. Solamente un poquito. Yeah, Chuck's helping you through the quarantine. Man, I really hope a lot of people discover Chuck for the first time during this quarantine. Like, I would love to come out on the other end of this and, like, one of the most watched shows, only to help build more of an audience so that when we make a Chuck movie, there'll be more people that will benefit and enjoy it, Love guitar? I don't know. What's love guitar? I don't know what that means. I do love guitars. I don't play one yet. I'd like to. All right. I think I've been doing this long enough. But I might come back later too. Do more songs or something with y'all. Yeah, maybe I'll do some music tonight. So then I can have my iPad and I can look up some lyrics and stuff, and we can do a little karaoke situation. How's that sound? Would you guys want to do that? Just watch for the first time. If I could do that, I would absolutely do that. I would burperoki. I think that's the official name. That would be the way to do it. So, okay. Peace out. Love you guys. Bye, all you cool cats and kittens.